Hello everyone, welcome back to the Snowfall episode 11 recap. You can watch it on the Tencent Video WeTV app or Viki. Let's get into it. So this episode finally explains why Li Ying chases after Shen Zhiheng so much and is so obsessed over him. Basically, when Li Ying was a child and he worked at the theatre, he had a sister. She was very sick. She would throw up from her mouth, like maybe tuberculosis or something like that. And Shen gave him money to basically get medical assistance for his sister. But basically, the theatre went up into flames and there were bandits. And then because of all the blood and everything, Shen Zhiheng could not help his sister in that moment because they were all in theatre at the same time, and Shen Zhiheng told him to stay away, and he basically held it against him this entire time because the sister ended up dying. So that's where the beef comes from. Shen Zhiheng also gets interrogated. They find out that he's a creature. His lab results come back pretty normal, so they're going to be going to Binjiang to basically get more medical information from him and figure out what's going on in his body. Jingshu also has a birthday party. Li Ying waits outside and tells somebody to go inside to give her a gift. And Dr. Situ also goes inside, Situ Welian goes inside and gives her a gift too and goes to see her. And then when he leaves, Li Ying basically takes him into his car and is like, you're going to go to Binjiang with us because you're a doctor and his friend and we're going to need your assistance when we go to Binjiang. And I wanted to say about this episode in particular that because of the way they built up Li Ying's character, even if you want to blame Shen Zhiheng for what he did, we understand Shen Zhiheng's character a lot more and his gentlemanliness than Li Ying. And Li Ying still acts crazy. Maybe he feels very valid in what he's doing, but he doesn't act righteously, and it still feels very unrighteous the way he's treating Shen Zhiheng. Because the alternative was that him and his sister became vampires that night, and who knows, maybe he'd be turning against him forever for that same reason, because Shen Zhiheng is also not really happy that he got turned, so why would he want to do that to somebody else? Although I have seen a teaser for episode 15 and he does end up turning, as far as it looks anyway, he does end up turning Milan into a vampire too. I also want to make note that in a lot of scenes, Shen Zhiheng will bare his teeth. It's like they wanted to give him fangs, but censorship didn't allow them to give him fangs, so he's not allowed fangs. It's fine, but, it would have been nice if he actually got fangs. Unfortunately, it's very likely that censorship took that from us. Also, I do see Li Ying as a foil to Shen Zhiheng. Li Ying is seen as the dreg of society by himself and other people because he's grown up poor and has always had to be a lackey of other people. His only hope is basically Commander Chi giving him a great reward for getting rid of Shen Zhiheng if Shen Zhiheng decides to not help Commander Chi and being successful. So he's banking on being rich and wealthy and getting everything he wants out of an inferiority complex, whereas Shen Zhiheng has an inferiority complex by the fact that he's not completely human, and so he tries very hard to be human. That doesn't mean he doesn't make mistakes or do things that piss off people, but ultimately the character is good. And in the face of all this, even though Li Ying feels very valid or feels like he's being righteously evil, because of the first 10 episodes of this show, I can never support Li Ying. I still think he acts crazy, and I still think that the overacting of the actor playing Li Ying doesn't really help the case if they're trying to have me, have sympathy for Li Ying's character. It doesn't make sense. Also, we get more insight into what happened at the Shen Manor. Basically, the grandmother accused Shen's aunt, they call her aunt in the show, but basically his father's wife and his half-brother's mother of witchcraft and tried to burn her at the stake, and then she basically curses all of them, and that's how he gets cursed, and somehow his brother's also involved in that as well. And technically his whole family died that night, but he got saved because he actually tried to save his little brother and her from the fire. So him turning into a vampire is actually her being like, I don't want you to die, kind of thing. That's how I read into it anyway, but we get an explanation for that as well. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments below. a lot happened, so maybe we can discuss in the comments below. If you like my channel, please subscribe, and if you like this video, please hit the like button below. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.